I want to briefly talk about the different elective options for Leaving Cert music, and these are different depending on whether you're doing performance, composition, or listening. So just to break down each of the different ones very quickly, you've got performance, you've got composition, and you've got listening. And the elective, very briefly, is, as mentioned in previous videos, it's an extra 25% that if you're doing higher level, this is irrelevant for anyone doing ordinary level. If you're doing higher level, you've got this extra 25% left over at the end of your exam, and you decide whether you're going to allocate that extra 25% to performance, composition, or listening. And depending on which one you allocate that to, you have to do a little bit of extra work in one of those fields. So I'm just going to talk about what that work will be for each of the different fields. Performance, it's pretty basic. In addition to your other performance, you have to do a 12-minute program. So, got the word minute there. So you've got to do a 12-minute program. And this has to be of a slightly higher standard than a normal higher level student would be. So if you're particularly good at performance and you've got a particularly big repertoire, you might opt to do a higher level elective in performance. That will involve, in addition to your other performance, having to do an extra 12 minutes of instrumental performance on the same day that you do your other performance. It happens around March or April, and that has to be of a slightly higher standard than an average higher level student. If you're doing a composition elective, there are two different options you can do. So the first one is you can submit a portfolio of 2 pieces, so 2 pieces, or songs for that matter. So 2 pieces / songs. And it's a portfolio, it has to be composed, arranged, and or orchestrated. And this is done along with your other compositions. So in addition to the composition paper that you do in the summer, you have to submit a portfolio with 2 pieces of songs. The other option is that you submit a portfolio on its own. So portfolio on its own, and this has to be at about 5 minutes. So they say 5 minutes approximately. 5 minutes approx. And what I mean when I say a portfolio on its own is you don't actually do the composition exam in the summer. You just submit the portfolio of about 5 minutes, and that will be your composition elective. So you can do one of these two options if you're doing composition as your elective. 2 pieces / songs along with your summer paper, or you can just submit a portfolio instead of your summer paper. That's 5 minutes approximately. The other option for your electives is if you're going to do a listening elective. Now, the listening elective is a little bit more complicated. If you're doing a listening elective, you have to study a specialist topic. So I'm just going to write down special topic. And this is a topic that you have to study in depth, and then in the summertime you have to do an extra paper on this. So the day that you do your composition paper, the day that you do your listening paper, you then have to set an extra paper, which is your listening elective paper, where you'll have to answer certain questions about your special topic. As regards the special topic for the listening paper, they suggest that your topic is broad enough that you can make comparative judgments and compare several different pieces within that thing. So it has to be within that topic. So it has to be sufficiently broad, but at the same time sufficiently defined. So it has to be sufficiently defined, as in not too broad, that it will enable you to focus on certain areas and talk about things of musical substance. So rather than talk about general terms, you have to be able to really show that you're a higher level Leaving Cert music student, that you have the knowledge required of a higher level Leaving Cert student to talk about these topics. So it has to be, you really have to find something that's not too broad, not too narrow. It gives lots of examples in the syllabus. You might choose to do early English madrigals, you might choose to do impressionist piano music, anything, whatever it is you choose to do, it has to be a specific topic that you're going to study in depth. Once you study that, you have to do a couple of different things. You first of all have to make up I'm just going to get an extra color. I'm just going to do this. So you have to make a recording. You have to make and submit a recording that with examples that illustrate this topic that you're studying. Your recording, it has to have 10 excerpts. So I'm just going to say 10 excerpts. And these have to come from 5 pieces. So 5 pieces of music. So for example, you may have 2 different excerpts from each of the different pieces, making up 10 excerpts from 5 pieces. And these will all be in some way connected to the topic that you've been studying. So if you've been studying, for example, Impressionist piano music, you're going to have 10 excerpts from 5 pieces from people like Debussy. That's basically what it is. You have to make up a recording. Other than that, then you also have to go in and sit a paper, as mentioned before. So you have to sit a paper on the same day as the composition and listening papers in the summer. And for that paper, you'll be asked a list of different questions. You'll be asked, first of all, let me just get another color for this. So you'll be asked to, question 1 will be state the title. So state your title or your topic. Pretty simple. You'll have to basically state what your topic is. You'll have to list 3 sources. So list 3 sources. So these are books that you use to research your topic, or well, not necessarily books, other sources that you may have, and you have to give the full details of those. Question 3 will be, you have to make a list of the 5 pieces of music that you have on your recording. So you have to list the 5 pieces of music you have on your recording along with the composer or performer. Composer, comp or performer. Okay, question 4, you have to list 3 significant musical features of your topic. Significant musical features. Let's see if I have enough room for that. I do. Okay. And then question 5, your last question, is essentially an essay question. So you have to write an essay where you describe those musical features, the ones that you have above. You show how those and how other musical features are in the music of your specialist topic, and you have to make reference to all of the musical excerpts in your recording. You have to make reference to every single one of those 10 excerpts that you've got on your recording. You also have to include your personal response to your chosen topic. So you have to give your own personal opinions about your specialist topic. So that's briefly the different elective options that you may take in the Leaving Cert paper, Leaving Cert exam rather. I hope that helps. I hope it breaks it down for you and makes it a little bit easier for you to choose which of those areas you want to put your elective into.